everybody. Good evening. I am Miss Jody. Thank you for joining me for Family Reading Night Story Time. Tonight, I'm going to share some things with you that were some of my favorites when I was a kid. But let's get started by moving around just a little bit. So if you're seated right now, go ahead. Let's stand up so we can do our first activity. All right, so let me get my chair out of the way. Are you ready? Here we go. So I'll sing along. The tune's going to repeat. As you pick it up, go ahead and join with me. If not, you can definitely do the actions when we get to them. So we're going to start off. It says, story time is starting. Clap your hands. Story time is starting. Clap your hands. Story time is starting. We're going to have some fun. Story time is starting. Clap your hands. Story time is starting. Stomp your feet. Story time is starting. Stomp your feet. Story time is starting. We're going to have some fun. Story time is starting. Stomp your feet. Story time is starting. Shout hooray, hooray. Story time is starting. Shout hooray, hooray. Story time is starting. We're going to have some fun. Story time is starting. Shout hooray, hooray. Oh, that was a really nice job. So we're all warmed up and got ready to hear our first story. So I'm going to go ahead and take a seat. You can sit down if you'd like to. So for this first story, if you were able to come into the library and pick up an activity kit, this sheet here, hopefully you had a chance to go ahead and cut the hats out and the little peddler out, because this is going to be what we're going to use. So I went ahead, see, I've got my peddler cut out and the little hats. But if you didn't get an activity kit, that's fine, no problem. You can still enjoy the story with us. All right, so give me just 1 second here. Let's get going on our first story here. I'm going to read for you Caps for Sale. This is by Effer Slobodkina. And it was published by HarperCollins Publisher. All right, so just have your little peddler in front of you and your hats kind of lined up, ready to go. And I'll let you know when we're going to use those for in the story. All right, so here we go. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had his own checkered cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. See all those different caps on his head? He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. And as he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And he walked out of town slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "Oh, that's a nice place for a rest," he thought. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First, he felt his checkered cap. Then he felt the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. And all he felt was his own checkered cap. Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? You would have a guess? Let's find out. On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or brown or blue or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. You monkeys, you, he said, shaking a finger at them, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at them and said, tsk, 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 tsk. This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, you monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, tsk, 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 tsk. Now he felt quite angry, and he stamped his foot and he said, you monkeys, you better give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, tsk, 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 tsk. By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, you monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, tsk, 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 tsk. At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. On all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. Okay, so this is where you need to get your peddler. So take your peddler and put him in front of you. And first, he put on his own checkered cap. So there's your peddler. And then grab your gray caps. Then he put the gray caps. So can you put all the gray caps on him? And then the brown caps. So put the brown caps on top. And then the blue caps. Are you making a nice straight row just like the peddler did his? That's great. And then at the very top, he put the red caps. I'm going to keep going on the story, but you can keep stacking if you haven't finished yet. Remember, it goes gray, brown, blue, and red at the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. And that is the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed that one. Like I said, that was one that I remember reading over and over and over again when I was a kid. So I hope you enjoyed it with me. Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's do some more movement. Can you go ahead and stand up with me? All right. Let me get my chair out of the way. So we had monkeys in that story. So I would like us to pretend that we are monkeys. Okay. Again, I'm going to sing the tune. If you start picking up the words, go ahead and sing along with me. And if not, just go ahead and do the activities along with me. All right. So we're going to be a monkey. Pretend you are a monkey. And we can swing. So monkey swinging, swinging all day. Monkey swinging, swinging all day. Monkey swinging, swinging all day. Swinging until I say stop. Good job. These froze. All right. Now go ahead and get your tickling fingers ready. And I don't have anyone to tickle, but if you've got somebody there, a loved one with you, go ahead and be tickling. So monkeys tickling, tickling all day. Monkeys tickling, tickling all day. Monkeys tickling, tickling all day, tickling until I say stop. Good job. Now monkeys like to eat. Monkeys eating, eating all day. Monkeys eating, eating all day. Monkeys eating, eating all day, eating until I say stop. Good job. Now they get itchy, so the monkeys are scratching, scratching all day. Monkeys scratching, scratching all day. Monkeys scratching, scratching all day, scratching till I say stop. Now they chatter. How do you think a monkey might sound? Ready? Monkeys chattering, chattering all day. Monkeys chattering, chattering all day. Monkeys chattering, chattering all day. Chattering till I say stop. All right, very good job. Thanks for doing that with me. So I've got another song we're going to sing. Go ahead and stay standing for this one because we're going to move around a little bit too. This is a tune you know. So if you pick up the words in the tune, again, join along. If not, have fun just doing the activity with me. So we're still going to be some monkeys, okay? So the monkeys in the zoo turn round and round, round and round, round and round. The monkeys in the zoo turn round and round all day long. So the monkeys in the zoo touch their toes, touch their toes, touch their toes. The monkeys in the zoo touch their toes all day long. The monkeys in the zoo rub their tummies, rub their tummies, rub their tummies. The monkeys in the zoo rub their tummies all day long. The monkeys in the zoo pat their heads, pat their heads, pat their heads. The monkeys in the zoo pat their heads all day long. Alrighty, this one's going to be lots of movement. Ready? The monkeys in the zoo jump up and down, up and down, up and down. The monkeys in the zoo jump up and down all day long. Very nice. Now that we've got all those wiggles and movement out of us, let's go ahead and you can take a seat again. I'm going to share another story with you. So let me get myself here now. For this particular story, if you were able to get the activity kit, you're going to use this sheet right here. This is going to be our from the book we're going to be reading. And then this sheet, if you had cut out all the animals, I have my animals all cut out. So what I would like you to do, as I'm reading this story, two things. So as each of the animals show up during the story, I'd like you to take the animal and go ahead and place them on the picture of the house. So for example, we've got the house. And when there's the cow, he brings the cow there. Just place the cow on top of the paper. Obviously, I can't do it because I'm holding it up, but if it's laying down there, and just add all the animals on there. You're going to have the animals. And then the animals are going to make some sounds. So when I read what the animal sounds say, can you make those sounds with me? That would be awesome. All right. So let's get going on our next book. Again, this was one that I used to read a lot. I actually used to have this on a record that I would listen to and then read along in the book. So this book is called Too Much Noise by Anne McGovern. And let's see, to the page, I'll tell you it was published by Houghton Mifflin Company, Boston. All right, so this book is called, like I said, Too Much Noise. Let me get to the first page. Okay, a long time ago, there was an old man. His name was Peter, and he lived in an old house. The bed creak, creak. The floor squeak, squeak. Outside, the wind blew the leaves through the trees, and the leaves fell on the roof. Swish, swish. And the tea kettle whistled, hiss, hiss. So you can make those noises, swish, swish, hiss, hiss. So every time I do that, say those with me. Too noisy, said Peter. Peter went to see the wise man of the village. What can I do? Peter asked the wise man. My house makes too much noise. My bed creaks. My floor squeaks. The wind blows through the leaves of the trees. The leaves fall on the roof. Swish, swish. My tea kettle hisses. Hiss, hiss. I can help you, the wise man said. I know what you can do. What? Said Peter. Get a cow, said the wise man. What good is a cow? Said Peter. But Peter got a cow anyhow. All right, go ahead. This is where I want you to add the cow on your picture. The cow said, ready? Moo, moo. The bed creaked. The floor squeaked. The leaves fell on the roof. Ready? Swish, swish. The tea kettle whistled. Hiss, hiss. Too noisy, said Peter, and he went back to the wise man. Get a donkey, said the wise man. What good is a donkey, said Peter. But Peter got a donkey anyhow. All right, grab your donkey. See, just, there's the donkey. And the donkey said, hee-haw. The cow said, moo, moo. The bed creaked. The floor squeaked. The leaves on the roof went swish, swish. The tea kettle whistled, hiss, hiss. Still too noisy, said Peter, and he went back to the wise man. Get a sheep, said the wise man. What good is a sheep, said Peter. But Peter got the sheep anyhow. Right, there's your sheep. And the sheep said, ba, ba. The donkey said, hee-haw. The cow said, moo, moo. The bed creaked. The floor squeaked. The leaves fell on the roof. Swish, swish. The tea kettle whistled. Hiss, hiss. Too noisy, said Peter, and he went back to the wise man. Get a hen, said the wise man. What good is a hen, said Peter. But Peter got a hen anyhow. That's the little one, the hen. The hen said, cluck, cluck. The sheep said, ba, ba. The donkey said, hee-haw. The cow said, moo, moo. The bed creaked. The floor squeaked. The leaves fell on the roof. Swish, swish. The tea kettle whistled. Hiss, hiss. Pardon me, my pages are stuck. Too noisy, said Peter, and back he went to the wise man. Get a dog, said the wise man, and a cat, too. What good is a dog, said Peter, or a cat? But Peter got a dog and a cat anyhow. So, see, dog and the cat. The dog said, woof, woof. The cat said, meow, meow. The hen said, cluck, cluck. The sheep said, ba, ba. The donkey said, hee-haw. The cow said, moo, moo. The bed creaked. The floor squeaked. The leaves fell on the roof. Swish, swish. The tea kettle whistled, hiss, hiss. Again, I have some stuck pages. Now Peter was angry. He went to see the wise man. I told you my house was too noisy, he said. I told you my bed creaks. My floor squeaks. The leaves fall on the roof. Swish, swish. The tea kettle whistles. Hiss, hiss. You told me to get a cow. All day the cow says moo, moo. You told me to get a donkey. All day the donkey says hee-haw. You told me to get a sheep. All day the sheep says baa, baa. You told me to get a hen. All day the hen says cluck, cluck. You told me to get a dog and a cat. All day the dog says woof, woof. All day the cat says meow, meow. I'm going crazy, said Peter. The wise man said, do what I tell you. Let the cow go. Let the donkey go. Let the sheep go. Let the hen go. Let the dog go. Let the cat go. Okay, so now you're going to want to take everything off the page. So Peter let the cow go. He let the donkey go. He let the sheep go. He let the hen go. He let the dog go. He let the cat go. Now no cow said moo, moo. No donkey said hee-haw. No sheep said baa, baa. No hen said cluck, cluck. No dog said woof, woof. No cat said meow, meow. The bed creaked. Ah, said Peter. What a quiet noise. The floor squeaked. Oh, said Peter, what a quiet noise. Outside, the leaves fell on the roof. Swish, swish. Inside, the tea kettle whistled. Hiss, hiss. Ah, oh, said Peter, how quiet my house is. And Peter got into his bed and went to sleep and dreamed a very quiet dream. The end. Well, I hope you liked that story. Again, like I said, that was one of my favorite. I used to like listen to read that one over and over again. All right, so we've got one more activity we're going to do here. This was one of my favorites, again, as a kid. We're going to sing, hopefully you know this one, Bingo, because there's a dog in the book, and I always liked this bingo song about a dog. So I'm going to sing along, and I've got the letters here, and we're going to sing the song, and we're going to say each letter, and every time we repeat the verse, we're going to remove a letter, and we're going to clap instead. So I'm going to point to the letters as we go across and sing, and then when there is a hand, you're going to clap instead of say the letter. Okay, so here we go. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. And this time we're going to clap instead of say the B. And I'm going to point, so I really can't clap, so I'm just going to like tap the board when you should clap. So for this case, you're going to go clap on your hand when you see that. So here we go. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. All right, 2 claps this time. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, how you doing? This time, a little trickier. We're going to have 3 claps. You ready for it? Here we go. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, 4 claps this time. A little trickier. You can do it. Are you ready? Here we go. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, okay, we're gonna do all claps this time. Okay, last time through. You got it. Here we go. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, and Bingo was his name. Oh, good job, everyone. I hope you had fun with that. I certainly did. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me for Family Reading Night Story Time. We have come to the end of story time. So if you're ready to get your hands ready to go, we'll sing a goodbye song. So story time is done. We're going to wave goodbye. Story time is done. Wave goodbye. Story time is done. We really had some fun. Story time is done. Wave goodbye. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope to see you in the library soon.